Welcome to the Atlassian Advantage podcast series. Here is part 1 of how Jira makes staff onboarding and stakeholder relationship management easy.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for joining us again today for our latest podcast on how Atlassian can help with personnel onboarding and also with tracking customer or stakeholder relationships. My name is Sean O'Sullivan, the sales director of the Atlassian team at Carahsoft, and I'm joined today by CEO of Hypervelocity and Atlassian Solutions Architect, Justin Leader. Justin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to get to talk to you and some of your listeners. We've done a lot of really rewarding projects working for our government and military customers with some really great and lightweight tool sets that we've delivered recently. So yeah, I'd love to chat more about it.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you here, Justin. So the team at Carahsoft, they often receive a lot of questions from our government customers, right? Asking about the benefits of Atlassian technology and solutions and how they can help their agency in staffing and relationship modernization. So for our discussion today, let's start with talking about the HR and onboarding improvements. That's all right. So what are some of the main challenges that public sector HR departments face with their human resource management, would you say?
Well, we've focused a lot on projects where we're trying to help with this really complex onboarding. And oftentimes we help with the offboarding as well. But we have a lot of government agencies and military divisions and departments that have hundreds of steps of so many different departments involved to bring someone on board. In this environment, it's increasingly complex. There's a lot of changes that happen every few months. Certainly over the last couple months, there's even more changes. And often there's fewer personnel to manage the process. The main challenges that they face, we've heard with a lot of different of these types of customers, is that although pretty much every department and discipline within the organization is involved, there's only a few key departments that are really pulling their weight. And not to place blame, but because it takes so much coordination. So even though, of course, HR is involved, also finance is involved for getting the people set up to get paid. Security is involved for background checks and authorization cards, key cards and computer cards. Facilities is involved for equipment, but also the right wiring for different security networks. IT is involved for accounts and also computer equipment and multiple different pieces of equipment based on security levels. And then we heard the challenge is that often we've got one or two people out of hundreds that are doing the majority of work, even though it's not their job. So someone in HR has been pushing through and walking people around when really the organization has agreed, hey, facilities has to do this or security has to do that. And it's often we see that security just doesn't get the information. They're not informed as part of the process. Or IT doesn't hear about it a week early or 2 weeks early so that they could set up new network accounts and things like that. So there's so many people involved. And then that creates so much overhead of time and missed opportunities and people sitting around and waiting for 2 or 3 weeks and burning money. And people don't know where the process has been stalled, where the bottlenecks are. No one has near enough data to report on it. So it's a big mess, and it doesn't need to be.
So everything's getting more complicated. All right. So if everything's then getting more complex, right, what kind of tools are going to be used to help solve these kinds of problems?